Hey everybody, and welcome to the first Retro Sunday. I'm your host, Young Falcon, and today we're going to be discussing the best and worst Mario Kart games, starting from worst to best. Joining me is my co-op buddy and versus partner.
I'm Ekuzu.
And today, we're going to talk about all of it, right? We're talking about Mario Kart DS, GBA, the arcade games, which I kind of grouped in their own category because they all play the same.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they all are kind of the same. They even all function the same, but we're just going to get right into it. And, just a little casual conversation, So with that all being said, let's get straight into it. I got my notes over here. You got your notes up?
Oh, yeah, I got the spark notes.
All right, we got the spark notes. Let's get right into number 10 for worst Super Mario Kart.
Super Mario Kart was an experience. It wasn't a fun experience, I can tell you that. I guess it was probably more fun playing together, though. I wouldn't want to play that game alone. I'm sure there are people that like the game. I'm sure there are people that grew up playing the game.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You're not one of those people.
No.
There's things wrong with Super Mario Kart. We're in a time where you can talk about that Super Mario Kart has issues. Like, no one's gonna get mad.
Well, Super Mario Kart paved the road for better games.
It laid the groundwork. That's why it's important. It laid the foundations of Mario Kart.
I guess. I mean, if Mario Kart as a series were a road, like a highway or something, Super Mario Kart would be like a literal dirt road. Let's see, you're slipping and sliding. Alright,
Okay.
Drifting isn't really drifting, in my opinion.
Right.
Hopefully in everyone else's opinion too. Because you press the drift button and you don't drift. You just slide like you did before you started drifting.
Right.
So
It's just mad slippery.
It's slipping, but in a different way, I guess.
Slipping in one direction instead of multiple, right?
Slipping in one direction instead of multiple. That's a good way to describe it. That's a perfect way to describe it.
There are some mechanics in the game that can help that. Alright, you have the bunny hop drifting, which is what I did. You have to like tap R and kind of alternate your direction, which is like fire hopping in 8. So
yeah, it's like fire hopping in 8, only it's
not the same.
It's not.
It's not. Alright. Well,
Please don't
what about the track design? What about the track design?
The track design, it's classic Mario Kart track design. Yeah, it's just how it used to be. I mean, it's not really unique. I mean, I know there were a few stages that I thought were like the same track, but they were different. It's like, what was a track in Super Mario Kart? Like Mario Circuit?
Yeah, Mario Circuit, right. The first one.
And then I was like, hey, we're going back to Mario Circuit again.
Wait,
did we actually go back to Mario Circuit again?
No, there was like 3 Mario Circuits, there was a couple Donut Plains. You got Donut Plains confused with Mario Circuit because they all kind of look the same.
I got Donut Plains confused with Mario Circuit.
But like, again, it was the SNES days. Like, there's not much you can do with the memory on that card.
That's true.
But then I also think about like Super Metroid and Mario, Super Mario World and Link to the Past, and I'm like, there's stuff you can. But it was also using Mode 7. But then I think about Zero. Anyways, there was a lot of ambition with Super Mario Kart when you think about it. You have like 8 players going at it, or 6 players or whatever. Mode 7, very ambitious, just poor execution. But at the time it was wonderful. But now that we're in 2019 and we have all these other great Mario Kart games, just hasn't aged the best, right?
Yeah. I mean, playing Super Mario Kart, we struggled.
We struggled hard.
We struggled with
the AI is brutal.
Yes,
they're brutal.
We struggled with the controls. We struggled with the AI. We had to restart a few times.
A lot of times. I personally am kind of on the same boat. I felt like the controls were very slippery. The track design wasn't the best. The graphics do make it hard to tell what's going on at times, and it could have just used some work. It really could have just used some extra things. I'm kind of wondering if they just went full out and did more of a F-Zero or Stunt Racers FX feel to the races, how that would have worked out instead of that early Mode 7 we kind of got with F-Zero. I wonder how they would do something with more 3D geometry visuals and kind of like less characters, but more very track design, something like Stunt Racer FX and again, Star Fox. I kind of want to see that Super Mario Kart, how that would have turned out. I feel like the controls would have been better, but it's not bad. It's not atrocious. It's just the first game. so it's not the best. Like, it's just that simple. It's just 2D, and it could use some work on the drifting and all that.
Oh yeah, it's not bad. It's just the worst out of all of the games.
Yeah, out of all the games, you know, it's a 6, right? It's not the worst. It could use some. Moving on to number 9. Mario Kart Super Circuit for me personally. What about you?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll take this one away since basically second verse, same as the first. It has a lot of issues that Super Mario Kart had. The draw distance isn't the best. It's very hard to make out what's going on, and a blown up screen, which we were using because we were playing on emulator, which we had to for the video to get the full multiplayer feel. You know, being able to kind of have that split screen dynamic with the emulated link cable like we did, it was nice. Again, some of the issues do pop up even on the Wii U Virtual Console port because it's so blown up that it's very hard to make out stuff in the distance, which makes it even harder to guess turns and stuff compared to the SNES version, because it's more of just the SNES but downgraded. Like, that's the best way to describe the GBA, right?
True.
It's just the SNES, but slightly better, slightly worse. It's kind of hard to explain in terms of certain things. The core issue with Mario Kart Super Circuit is just the fact that it's Super Mario Kart. The drifting and all that is basically 1-to-1. It's very similar. Some of the tracks are really cool. There are some really good ones, like a Luigi circuit in there. Had the rain effects, amazing for a GBA,
right.
really, and the music
is really good.
On top of that, the AI, it was kind of quirky though, not gonna hold you. It was doing the same kind of nonsense that was in Super Mario Kart, where we were doing really good the first couple cups, and out of nowhere, triple mushrooms, stars in second. Like, come on, like, that's just, it's not fun. It's really not fun. The controls kind of fight against you, on top of AI rubber banding, on top of some so-so track design, all comes together to make mid. Now this is where the list might get a little twisty-turvy, right? She might have some different stuff, I might have some different stuff, so let's get right into number 8.
Mario Grand Prix.
What is your number 8?
Let's see, it's 64.
Oh, okay. Oh, we matched! I thought we were not gonna match here, okay.
64, I don't know, I don't think I really have much to say about 64.
Right.
It's not as bad as Super Circuit or Super Mario Kart.
Right.
Drifting is still kind of a problem, but it's better. They improved on it. I think the art style is cute.
Yeah, like I was gonna mention that. It has this clay style, right?
Yeah.
It's like this clay motion kind of thing. It's really cute. It's kind of quirky.
Yeah, kind of quirky. I like the kind of, I guess it's 3D?
Yeah, it's like this 3D, 2D mesh.
Right.
Because it's pixels. It's still pixels, but...
Right.
Like, the items and stuff are 3D and the backgrounds are 3D, I think. But I know the sprites, like the character sprites are 2D.
Right.
Yeah.
But they kind of look 3D, if it makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like papercraft, if that makes sense. Like origami.
Yeah, I like how they did that.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I thought, you know, majority of the tracks, they were fine. They're pretty safe, right? It's just kind of ovals, couple twisted. The really twisty-turvy ones don't work because of the controls. So, like, Yoshi's Valley, it's a classic, but gosh darn, does that map suck. Like, I don't like it in 64. It makes no sense. I hate how you can't tell what place you're in until the very end.
Oh, that's
like,
true.
That's not fun. And, like, the AI just, they're nowhere to be seen. You think you're in first, and you get 5th. Like, what? No one's here. What do you mean?
I think that track would be more fun if it were in a different game.
Right, exactly. We'll get to that in a second, but regardless I do really enjoy Mario Kart 64. I thought the gameplay, again, is kind of stiff. The sound design is also very strong. Especially like when you get with the lightning, that little doo-doo-doo-doo, like, I love that lightning sound effect. It's so much better than the other ones we get. And again, the AI rubber banding is still very prevalent in this game. Like, very egregious at times. It's the same type of triple mushroom, star, and invincible, and a lightning, all while you're in first to send you all the way back. And then as you creep up, you still get hit by nonsense. It's like, come on, like, chill. But again, still some really good track design, especially some standout ones. That train track, I forgot the name. It was like the Katamari Desert or something like that. So fun.
Yeah.
So
I think
fun.
It's like Calamari Desert.
Yeah, Calamari Desert. Such a great track. And the DK Jungle, track. Obviously a classic. Toad Turnpike. Much better here than personally to me in 8. Just a personal thing. I really enjoyed it in 64. And second best Rainbow Road. That's always a plus. Rainbow Road's always like the staple. I really love the Rainbow Road here. Anyways, you have anything else? Final words you want to add on?
Not really.
All right, cool.
Let's wait.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh whoa. Go on.
I just like Bowser. That's it.
Yeah, Bowser's cute.
All right.
Moving on. Number 7.
Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe
is the Mario Kart arcade games.
You know what? You talk about that. I didn't put that in my
Oh no!
I forgot about
you
the
played the
arcade
first. You talk about GP1 because I played GP2 and DX. So go ahead and knock that one out for us.
Alright, GP1. Yeah, it was pretty easy until I got to a point, and then the AI got really hard for some reason.
Because it's an arcade game.
Like, I was doing fine, and then the AI would get, like, crazy items or something like that.
Right.
And I would just...
RNG's nonsense.
Like, I would keep getting second and be like, what is this? Why? For what reason?
Getting hit by some nonsense.
It was pretty fun. There was a pretty good variety of items. There were like a ton of items you could get, and you could change your loadout and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
I really like how they do the carts and stuff in those games. And the roster. Let's talk about the roster for a little bit.
The roster. There's Pac-Man.
There's Pac-Man. There's Tamagotchi guy. Forgot his name.
There's Miss Pac-Man.
Oh wait, that's 2. That's GP2. I'm sorry. The Ghost.
Oh yeah, that's Blinky.
Blinky. It's one of those games that always like sticks in your head. There's a lot of really cool tracks, at least from the backgrounds and stuff. The core design, it's pretty standard stuff. Like, it's nothing really hardcore. But I really enjoyed how arcadey it feels, right? The drifting's extremely arcadey. You kind of tap the pedal, then you hold the gas, or you tap the brake, you hold the gas, you drift. Kind of like if you played Outrun and those types of games.
Oh, right.
So it's easy to pick up and play, not that hard, and it has a lot of replay value with all the cool challenges, like the driving backwards and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff here. GP2 didn't put too much time into it because it's the same game. It's just the same game, but instead of Pac-Man, you get Tamagotchis. Heck yeah, dude. That's what I wanted.
Memechi. Isabelle with sauce.
It is just Isabelle with sauce.
Isabelle,
right. And then you had GPDX, which is weird. And overall, it's just the same type of thing, you race for items. There's online play, which if you guys don't know, the Japanese ROM has online play, and you can play with other people like in the regions in Kyoto or whatever. We don't have that in the American ROM. If you play the American version, you get like just the tracks. I think you get the first 2 rounds of each track. Because like when we play, we don't get the full 5 rounds. That's like the American games, they don't get the full 5 rounds.
You get to pick a track. You get to pick whether the track's mirrored.
Yeah, you guys don't get like the full experience. I don't know why they gimped it so much for the American release. Even at like round 1 locations, which should have the Japanese ROMs, I might have to petition for that because you're missing out on a lot of content. But the Japanese ROM for DX has a lot of really cool stuff. Mainly, again, like the competitive aspect, which is playing online with a bunch of other people across the world or just AI, and across Japan because it's a Japanese thing. And of course, the fact that you have a lot of really cool mechanics with unlocking items and the Yoshi Roulette. I'm sorry if that confuses you a little bit. Basically, what I'm saying is GP1 and GP2 have the lottery stuff in the American ROMs. You just have to go to the test service and unlock it. GPDX literally does not have any of that in the American version of the ROM sets. You have to have the Japanese version and twiddle with the settings for free play and Mario cards and all that stuff. So, moving on from that, the arcade games, I'm gonna get to my number 6 game, and I think this is where we get. I think this is where we veer. I think this is where we take turns. My number 6 game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Mario Kart 8!
Oh, that's interesting.
That is?
Why do you feel that way?
Well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, despite it looking amazing, and multiplayer is still great, and the online stuff runs relatively well, my biggest issue is the game is really easy on 150cc for starters. If you're in first, and this is kind of an issue with the game in general, the core gameplay, as typical Mario Kart fun as it is missing that sauce that the other games have, including regular Mario Kart 8, which is, you know, we'll get to that in a little bit. One of the biggest issues for me with Deluxe is the fact that it just feels like it's a little too simplified. Like, it's missing some of the more competitive mechanics, if you will, which I never saw as competitive, just kind of cool strats you could use to get ahead of your friends a little bit. You know, like, you're never going to be egregiously outpaced, but it does help you close the gap to get a first or second place without the need of items, and they kind of kept trying to remove that as the games go on, and it's like, yo, just chill, like, let people race, because now we're in this weird position where if you're in first in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it doesn't matter how many blue shells you get hit by, how many green shells, red shells, none of that matters, okay? Because one, you'll always have a defensive item, especially in Deluxe. If you can get 2 coins in your little item slot, and you hit another item, I guarantee you'll get a banana or a mushroom or something. So if a blue shell comes, you can super hornet, mushroom out of there, whatever. If a banana comes, you're blocking everything. In first place, they get all the rights. They're never going to, if you're in first and second, have a considerable lead, nothing will stop you. Matter of fact, we tested this theory online. We gatekeeped with Captain Falcon.
Did we record that?
We did. Oh. And I'm going to show up the footage right now, and just look at this. I'm getting berated by items, and I still managed to clutch second and fourth and all this stuff. And it's like, it doesn't matter. If you make the mistake yourself by, like, driving off the track, which if you're in first, that's rarely gonna happen. Like, you're already playing on point. You have to start doing dumb stuff like I did, and even then you can just come back.
Honestly.
And it's just like there's not enough to stop people that are in first from being in first, because the item bouncing in that game is just way too pandering to first place, which makes no sense for Mario Kart. Because there comes a point where everyone in the middle section of, like, the 5th, 6th, 7th range or 8th, like that range, right, they're just all getting hit by stuff because it's constant red shells, constant green shells, all that.
If you drop under, like, 5th place, it's
a wrap.
You're staying there.
Right, but the reason, I mean, yes, you can still come back. I know you can use bullet bills and all that, but the chances of that spawning are so slim. Maybe it's recent updates, I don't know, that it just feels impossible. But again, 8 just misses that sauce. It misses that secret sauce, and what that is the mechanics, the fire hopping, the snaking, all that stuff. Even though admittedly some of it is broken, it really does help, you know, boost the viability of just casual and competitive play, because you have that little extra step to get ahead without the need of items and getting berated by stuff or having poor driving skills. Like, you can just have a little bit of an extra step to help you get ahead, and we definitely abuse some of that with some of the later games of the franchise. You'll definitely see some of that when we get to DS and even 7, and especially Double Dash. But I'm just saying that 8 Deluxe, for me personally, the reason why it's lacking is mainly because of its core gameplay. On top of some so-so track design, which I'm not sure if it's just me being caught up in the fact that the gameplay is not the best, but some of the tracks here are just okay, like, especially the retro tracks. Like, we got some classics for sure, you know, Moo Moo Meadows came back. We don't talk about, you'll see why. You'll see why. Baby Park, I wasn't a fan of in 8 because it takes out what made it special. I wasn't even a fan when they brought it back in DS, because again, it takes out what made it special in Double Dash, and that was the crazy special items and all that. But regardless, Deluxe is missing that sauce. I feel like the tracks play it really safe, like a lot of them overly rely on the gimmick, which is kind of funny because 7 did the same thing, but at least his track and backgrounds are really interesting and layered, so I didn't mind as much. Whereas here, it's just like, we get it, you have underwater. Why am I going through honey? Like, I don't care. Why is there anti-gravity honey? It's cool and all, but it's just another oval to drive behind. You know, the GBA track, they literally take a part of it and just flip it upwards and, like, track done. Like, come on! You could do some new stuff. We're 8 games in. And then the Deluxe Edition, you know, with it having the Deluxe moniker, I thought we were gonna get some heat, especially when they introduced double items, but double items literally break the fundamental gameplay, because now if you're in first, you just keep it. You'll never get thrashed, especially if you're on the higher echelon of play. So online isn't fun for anyone, because it's just people gatekeeping, regular, you know, battle modes and stuff feels like shoehorned mechanic. There's a lot of issues with a Deluxe for me personally. Yeah, that's just me.
I don't understand why they brought back double items and double item boxes and not.
But no co-op.
No co-op.
Not even teams.
No,
Are there teams?
dash,
I think there's teams.
No other
still.
double dash mechanics.
Yeah, that was a big issue.
Who asked for Inkling? Which one of you asked for Inkling? Because it wasn't me. It wasn't you. I don't think anyone else playing Mario Kart was asking for
Well, to be
Inkling.
fair, it's the next big Nintendo franchise, and they're just testing the waters. You can tell they're planning something big with the inclusion of the Animal Crossing track and F-Zero tracks, that we're gonna get some heat. Maybe a Nintendo All-Stars Racing, similar to Sonic All-Stars Racing, which, you know, is literally the best kart racer ever made. But we'll see. But we'll see. What was your number 6?
I think I have Wii as 6. Well, there's bikes. They introduced bikes. Bikes are cool. I like bikes.
Bikes are top tier.
Yeah,
I love
bikes. Bikes are great. Bikes, you can do wheelies. That's cool. They're snaking still. Yeah, let's see what else. The roster's pretty okay. We have Diddy Kong. I think Tribones is in there. King Boo. Always love King Boo. King Boo's great.
Yeah, the licky tongue.
Item balancing. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, item balancing in that game can get kind of ludicrous.
Yeah.
The AI isn't bad, it's just the items. Like, the AI doesn't do dumb stuff. It's just the items,
That's
everyone.
the-
And it's like,
that's
the
the
thing
thing.
is, at least in Wii, everyone gets busted items. Like, you will get that bullet bill in 4th place at least twice in your Grand Prix run.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at least. That game is just dumb. But that's why I like it. It's just dumb fun. It's just stupid. What about the tracks for you?
There are a few memorable tracks in Mario Kart Wii. There's like, Maple Tree Way,
Yeah.
Mushroom Gorge. Everyone loves that one.
For sure. Top tier, man. I get what you're saying. There are some great tracks in Wii. They're all pretty much fan favorites for the most part. Minus a couple, like DK Summit. The half-pipe thing could have been, you know, not in the game. But regardless, there are some great tracks in Wii, and I really felt like the retro tracks included were pretty top-notch.
Oh yeah, Coconut Mall.
Oh yeah, well, that's a given. Everyone, you don't even have to say that. Everyone knows Coconut Mall. But that, okay, 6th place is understandable. For my number 5, it's literally just Mario Kart 8 again. So we'll just skip on by.
Yeah, that's my number 5.
The only reason why it moved up a little bit from Deluxe is because fire hopping. That's literally it. Fire hopping is that tiny mechanic that makes it better, but still doesn't excuse all the items and first place stuff, because it's basically the same thing here. So yeah. Moving on, we're gonna go to number 4. What's your number 4?
8 Deluxe.
Okay.
I think I put that above 8.
Fair enough. More content.
Yeah.
That's it. More content.
That's it. More content.
For me, my number 4 was Mario Kart 7 for the 3DS. Whew, this game, alright. It's sad that it has to be lower, because it is it's literally a classic, okay? Let's actually get into this. Every track and song in that game is a banger. The character roster, albeit missing some you know, favorites, is so condensed and crazy with the amount of like cool Mario characters they brought in. We got Wiggler, for crying out loud. My boy Wiggler, like the Queen Bee. Like
I gotta say, I don't care what anyone says. The roster was great. I like the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
You can fight me on that.
The roster, I just enjoyed how condensed it was, you know what I mean? And on top of that, it has the best track design in Mario Kart history. Free. I don't care what you say, you're wrong. It has the best track design. You think about it, you had the Woohoo Island tracks. Okay, you had Shy Guy Bazaar, which was a callback to Super Mario Bros. 2. You had the best retro tracks, Koopa Cove. Like, just this cool stuff that was just meant to show off the glider and the 3D mechanics work so well in their own sense because they're short and condensed and fit the handheld experience. The game is extremely easy to go through, but that's why I love it so much, is because it's so short and fun and just, it's short, sweet, and to the point. And if you want to get deeper with the mechanics, you can. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. And it goes above and beyond with the amount of stuff they add, you know. It's not the amount of content that DS has. No one's touching that. They actually did some stuff to make it interesting with the first-person perspective, gyro controls, and just a slew of amazing tracks. You know, Neo Bowser City is such a classic. It got brought back for the Wii U version, which, you know, says a lot. I mean, sure, it was DLC, but says a lot. And just, again, the amount of wonderful tracks in that game that really did a wonderful job of saying, here's a new mechanic, toy with it for like 4 or 5 seconds as you drive throughout. It was great. And again, just the section tracks, the Woohoo Island tracks are just phenomenal. They're so good. Like, I can't, that's literally why it's so high. And on top of that, it has the best Rainbow Road free. It's so gorgeous. It's so good. I know I'm giving 7 a lot of praise, but that just goes to show how wonderful Mario Kart is. If this is one of my high peaks, and it's only number 4, you know what I mean? On top of that, again, the kart creation was really well done here. Felt like it could have, used a little work around the edges, make it a little more, useful. It just kind of feels like a little bit of an after-baked mechanic. A lot of the carts do feel the same at times, but you can do what you can do to fully deck it out, and that's where 8 does shine, where you really have to pay attention to your cart, as I learned throughout the process of playing through the Grand Prix again. Alright, so with that all being said, what do you think of your number 3?
Oh, my number 3? I think it's DS. Mario Kart DS, pretty nostalgic. I enjoyed playing it again. It wasn't the same as I remembered it being.
Was it a little bit harder or easier?
It was harder. I remembered being good at Mario Kart DS, and I came back and I was like, oh, I'm getting thrashed. It still holds up, I think, graphics-wise.
For sure, yeah. Especially, we'll get to a little bit later, but yeah.
I liked the roster for the most part. It was pretty cool. I like how they introduced Dry Bones. I like Dry Bones. I'm a fan of Dry Bones. I think Dry Bones is cool.
Yeah, he was really cool and fast in that game.
There was snaking. That was an interesting mechanic. I don't even think it was meant to exist. It probably wasn't. But yeah, that was the thing. It was kind of busted.
It's busted. Especially when you get your boy Gyromites stack them up.
Yeah, that's another thing. Rob, I like how they introduced Rob. I know some people aren't a fan of Rob. I think Rob's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the guest characters, right? What about the track design for you?
The tracks, there are a few tracks that I really like in Mario Kart for the DS. There's TikTok Clock. Everyone likes that one, I'm pretty sure.
Right, one of the classics. Brought it back in 8.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's it.
That's OD. How dare you slander Airship Fortress?
Oh yeah, there is that one. I remember.
How dare you slander Waluigi Stadium?
Oh,
Waluigi's Pinball. Sorry. Yeah. I feel like the mechanics of that game really make it, and on top of that, missions.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about mission mode. Yeah, mission mode. That's fun. I wish they brought that back.
My number 3 is Mario Kart Wii. I thought Mario Kart Wii was great. It had a really good roster of like Mario All-Stars, iconic track design that still holds up to this day. Like you said, you got the Coconut Mall, Daisy's Circuit, which was really fun because you have the giant statue in the middle. Great retro tracks like Delfino Square. Really enjoyed all the retro tracks they brought back.
That was in DS though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about retro tracks they brought back.
Oh, I should have mentioned that when we were talking about DS.
It's fine.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, but they have just all the tracks in that game have really cool shortcuts on top of everything, which I feel like we kind of undermine a little bit, but there's a lot of cool stuff in Mario Kart Wii, and again, just they roster. It's iconic. You had Funky Kong. They added like Rosalina and stuff in there. The bikes, again, are really fun to use, especially the fact that you can wheelie to get that extra speed boost, especially after mini turbo. So much fun hitting that inside drift perfectly, getting like the orange spark, hitting the wheelie, trying to, move just ever so slightly because you're hitting the wheelie, you can't really make it. So many tense moments playing it, and thanks to the item bouncing, which is understandably ludicrous, it just gets so much fun seeing this carnage of items on screen. Like, that's where Baby Park in that game really would have shined, because it's just like nonsense, like Thundershock. Imagine like getting hit with Thundershock, the little thing you have to keep bumping into people, Hot Potato. Even though the item is kind of not everyone's favorite, I kind of enjoy it. I think, could use a little bit of work, but it's kind of fun to play Hot Potato in the middle placements, right? When you're in first and you get it, it's like, this game sucks, so I don't want to play this. But they also had some really cool items that never came back, at least I don't think so, like Giga Mushroom. Like, what happened to that? Like, that's such a cool item to plow through the opponents through, and they just never brought it back. And again, like, the Wii tracks are very much standouts for me personally. And, speaking of being standouts, they all kind of came back in Mario Kart 7, which is why we haven't seen all the good ones in the other games. So they really should get on bringing some of those Mario Kart Wii tracks over to the next MK, whether it be MK9 or whatever. So Wii, great. On top of that, it's one of the only battle modes we actually played through because it's honestly the most fun next to DS. I think it has like the most fun battle mode. It just has really good tracks. Like the Funky Kong Stadium, top tier. Love that track. Just like you going through the middle, picking up coins and defeating people with balloons. Good stuff. Moving on, number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Double Dash. Double Dash. Let's see, the roster, I'm not sure if it has the most characters out of every game. It might be close, because I know 8
because Deluxe has a lot of characters, but they're kind of throwaway. Like, no offense to Deluxe, but they are kind of like Pink Gold Peach.
The roster in Double Dash, it's pretty interesting.
They had some cool standout ones.
They have, let's see, they have Birdo.
Right.
Birdo's pretty cool.
Right.
I like Birdo. Birdo and Yoshi teaming up. That's cute.
Yeah.
I like that. Toad and Toadette. Yeah, that's pretty cute.
For sure.
Oh yeah, Petey Piranha.
Petey Piranha. That was the biggest surprise.
He never came back.
Yeah, they killed him. They massacred my boy. Really did not want him to sort of thrive on these streets. He forever a joke. Even in Smash, man said, "No, we'll put regular Piranha plant. Not you though. You ugly behemoth. You fatso. Get your belly stomped on in sunshine for the 30th time. You're a speedrun slave. That's what they call Peter Piranha now."
Drifting. Once we figured out drifting, it was a wrap.
So good. So satisfying.
We were drifting.
So
I was
satisfying.
like, wait, if you wiggle the stick,
if you just mash, you get this big speed boost, and you just it's borderline worse than snaking. It's actually probably more busted than snaking.
that mechanic's toxic.
That mechanic's like OD good. Like when people master it, I'm curious to see how that looks.
Speaking of drifting, this game's fun co-op. Like,
right.
Play with a friend. Don't play without a friend.
Yeah, I feel like without a friend, it's just another like really good Mario Kart game, because again the drifting is so fun. Like you're just mashing that stick back and forth and just going. But without a friend, you're missing that sauce. You know, again, you're missing what makes it special, and that's kind of with every Mario Kart. But there's something about double. I'll get to that a little bit later. You know, we'll get to that a little bit later because we gotta get to my number 2. You know what I'm saying? My number 2 is Mario Kart DS, which is basically what you have for number 3. Again, basically the same stuff. Mission mode is just wonderful, super great track design. Like I said, the Peach's Castle, Airship Fortress, all of them hit really different. I thought for a majority of the tracks they're really good, especially Mario Circuit's Figure 8. Like I really enjoy the Mario Circuit in DS. It's just really simple, pretty fun drifting, helps you get used to the mechanics of the game, and again, with certain techniques, it just enhances the game so much. Like it's just snaking. Like it just enhances the game to levels that I didn't see possible, and that's what makes it a lot of fun to me. And moving on from that, just again the guest characters that were added and all that, the item balancing. I'm sure the AI can get a little bit wacky at times, but it wasn't too egregious once you kind of get the hang of the game. You know, it's pretty solid with that. So overall, you know, DS did its job.
Yeah.
I feel like DS did its job. So you know, your number 2 was Double Dash. What was your number 1?
Couldn't guess.
Of course, it's Mario Kart 7.
Yeah,
that's what you said. What are your reasons for Mario Kart 7 being number 1? Because I definitely agree, you know, to an extent with the sentiment.
I remember putting so much time into Mario Kart 7. Online was super fun.
Yeah.
I think Mario Kart 7 online, besides, you know, teleporting because bad net.
Yeah. Played
it
in
was pretty fun. I mean, lobbies. Can you even really call them lobbies? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, they were lobbies.
But like, you don't have to choose from like 3 tracks to vote for or whatever. You could just pick whatever track you want from the list of tracks, and everyone just picks their track, and then it randomly picks a track from all of the tracks that people picked, and it's like, wow, you actually have a choice in what you want to play.
You're getting tilted.
You can actually pick any track in the game instead of just picking from.
Now, didn't they have that in Wii as well?
Did they have that in Wii?
Yes.
I don't remember that being in Wii.
Because you didn't have to pick from you could pick from any cup, right? That was a thing.
Could you?
Pretty sure. There was no voting system in that, or there was a roulette system,
right?
But there wasn't the.
So that's an 8 thing.
That's just an 8 thing, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so 7 track design characters, all that pretty solid for you.
Track design's pretty cool. Love the tracks in that game.
Yeah.
The selection's really great. The character roster. I already told you about the roster.
Right, right.
I like the vehicle customization. I still rock the pipe frame. I always rock the pipe frame.
Every game.
Every game.
Every game, the pipe frame. I had to grind for that in the Mario Kart 8.
That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. I mean, it doesn't have mission mode like DS, but like, I mean, I kind of miss it, but it's like, you know, it's 6-7. I mean, I had fun playing that game online and offline.
Right, right.
I went through all the time trials. I unlocked the gold parts. All that. I had a ton of fun with it.
All the sauce.
And then there was the Street Pass stuff. I mean, you got like Street Pass ghosts from other people.
Oh, that was hype.
And like Street Pass races and stuff. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was OD. You know. But yeah, I respect that. Again, like I said, 7. It's like all these are really, really good games, but there's one that takes the spot for me.
Double Dash?
Number 1 for me is Mario Kart Double Dash. Okay, let me. Bro, Mario Kart Double Dash is the best Mario Kart game, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's the most unique, right? This is one of the most important. Like, the reason why 7's also, you know, all of them are up there is they're all unique in their own ways, right? 7 has the car customization and just wonderful, very experimental tracks compared to all the other games, right? You know, Wii has the tightest driving, like free out of all of them, but relatively safe track design with some, you know, good oddballs thrown in there here and there. But that's why it's good, because it has this really, it just really enhances the core Mario Kart gameplay. And DS has snaking, which is just fun. It's just fun to pull that off, right? On top of, again, safe but pretty experimental tracks like being in a pinball table, you know, and stuff like that.
Right.
Compared to, you know, like just driving on a raceway, which a lot of the early games just have, minus like, you know, Sweet Sweet Canyon. You know, we driving on candy cane. It's like, okay, who cares, right? Like, oh, it's so different. Or, you know, like Toad Harbor. Like, it's just dumbed down Toad's Highway, which is already in the game. It's like, I don't need that. The Twisted Manor. Just bring the DS version back. Like, what are you doing? It's the same thing. Same thing with just random glider section thrown in the middle. Like, we get it. You have gimmicks. We get it. And like going underwater and like, come on, who cares? Alright, anyways. What I'm trying to say is Double Dash has this just flavor to it that is so different than all the other Mario Karts. Being able to team with a friend, you know, and actually having to do the inputs, which I think is what Nintendo's scared of. They're scared of you losing your friendship, but y'all make Mario Party. Shut up. Alright, you make Smash Brothers, okay?
But what was the latest Mario Party like?
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is there is something very special about Double Dash, and it's just the cooperative aspect. Now, I know single player wise, the game's still great. You know, being able to hit those perfect drifts and switch in between items and do all this really cool mechanics that makes you feel super big brain because you're mashing your stick back and forth while switching, while drifting, and letting go at the right time, and just doing all these super high octane mechanics, all while, you know, securing the bag and getting first place. But when you throw in a friend in there and both of you guys are, you know, mashing the stick back and forth to get the perfect drift and hit those corners right, and then you switch out to grab the item, and then you tag your boy back in because he's a better driver, right? And you're, you know, switching in the items and you have to steer at the same time. Like, there's so many unique mechanics to Double Dash. And then throw in 4 players, and if you're one of the lucky lads, you can get up to 16 systems linked. Or was it? Yeah, because, you know, it's 2, there's 8, 2, yeah. 16 systems linked? That's so, or 8 systems linked with teams of 2. What I'm trying to say is you can get a lot of players in the game. That's so fun.
16 people playing
16 people playing Double Dash on a single CRT, having a blast, wiggling their sticks back and forth to hit those drifts.
So wait a second. Mario Kart Double Dash technically
is the first 16 racer?
That's so crazy.
That's crazy.
Mario Kart Wii didn't even do that.
Anyways, aside from that, the track design is easily the most, like, grounded here, right? It's very, excuse me, it still does the experimental stuff, you know, like Daisy Cruiser, you know, Wario Coliseum, which, honestly, at first, I wasn't a fan of Wario Coliseum until I replayed it some more. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this track. Like, it was kind of interesting, especially just the going down the tubes and you're just mashing the mini drifts to, it's so much fun. But what I just enjoyed all the stuff here, and the special items really make it. Baby Park with Bowser shells ripping across, and then Peach's heart there, so she picks up the Bowser shell and then she throws it back, and it's like, whoa, there's so much carnage going on the screen. Like, calm down there, buddy. There are so many great moments in Double Dash that you're like, you could get frustrated, but it never lasts long, right? It's not like the other Mario Karts. Like, you get tilted, you just want to turn it off. Double Dash, you get tilted, you're like,
I
gotta get back in there. So there's just so many great mechanics in Double Dash that just all the other games don't have, and that's why I enjoy it. You know, that's why I like it over the others. So with that all being said, thank you all for. All right, we gotta talk about it. All right. So
talking about it.
So I have finished all of these Mario Kart games. Okay, I enjoy all of them for the most part. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room. I know what you're saying. You said you're ranking all the games, even the arcade games. But where's Mario Kart Tour? You all hit number 1. Where's Tour at? I forgot. Anyways, that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed our look at all the Mario Kart games, worst to best. This was a very hard, challenging achievement for us. But we did it. We conquered it for you guys. Next Retro Sunday, we'll be discussing Super Mario Kart, going over the games in chronological order, you know, talking a little bit about their history and stuff, and just, you know, our thoughts on them more in depth. Even though we went pretty layered here, so, you know, pretty fun. If you guys have, you know, any opinions, maybe you feel a little different about the you know, track design, or how you feel about the rankings of each Mario Kart game, please place them down in the comment sections below. I'm willing to go down there and, you know, talk it out with you, or if you're on some dumb stuff, just tell you're flat out wrong, but, you know, we'll see how things pan out. Alright, just for some you know, closing statements, thank you all so much for watching this video. What are your worst to best or best to worst Mario Kart games in order? Let's have a debate in the comment section. Let's not get toxic, however. Let's, you know, just have a real discussion about the games, what you liked about them competitively, casually, all that jazz. Let's, you know, if you like the video, you know what to do. Drop a like, drop a sub, and, you know, things like that to, you know, help the channel grow and all that. And let's just keep it pushing, you know. Thank you all for coming out to this video. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Delete Mario Kart Tour. Game's not good. And keep it moving.